Hi guys, Tash and Michael here from Specific Property, and as always talking all things property. Our topic for this video in particular will be whether it's a buyer's market at the moment or a seller's market, and what does this actually mean. Michael,
okay,
take it away.
So I guess the first thing to do is to start with what's a definition of a buyer's market and a seller's market. So a buyer's market is typically a market where buyers have the upper hand. So that means that sellers are having to reduce or discount prices. Typically there's a lot of stock, a lot of property available for sale at once. So sellers are competing against each other to reduce their prices so that a buyer can purchase, obviously. So they're competing for the same buyer pool. A seller's market is quite the opposite. So a seller's market is where properties really are moving in terms of price growth. Typically that's shown with fewer listings, so there aren't very many properties that are available on the market, but we have a lot of buyers that are looking to enter the market, so there's a highly competitive bidding process, and that generally drives property prices up. So I guess where are we now? That's the question.
That's the big question. And who's favoured in this certain particular time?
So we've just come off 12 or 18 months of really what has been deemed to be a lull or a slowdown in the property market, and we've seen prices fall in both Sydney and Melbourne and in most major cities, but predominantly in Sydney and Melbourne, with double-digit falls. And during that time we had lots of people selling, obviously, not many people buying, so we had what would be a buyer's market. So there were very few buyers, lots of sellers, and sellers were having to heavily discount their properties. And so that's where we've been. Where are we now? Well, I think we're probably, we've seen, going back a few months, we've had the coalition government re-elected, we've had some cuts in by the Reserve Bank in interest rates, we've had some of the lending criteria slightly relaxed to allow buyers to access credit a little bit more easily. We're certainly not back to where we were. And what we've seen as an outcome of that is we've seen auction clearance rates both in Sydney and Melbourne go from their lows of 40 and 50%, and we're back up at 70 and 80% now.
They were low for a while.
So what that means is that for the properties that are available for sale, most of them are selling, which means that I think that we're moving back. That balance is moving back towards being a seller's market again. Are we there yet? No, I think we're probably pretty finely balanced. So we're kind of in that period where we're between a buyer's market and a seller's market. I think as confidence continues to increase, we'll see more properties come back onto the market, but more buyers also come back into the market, especially with these low interest rates, and people are chasing returns, especially investors. So is now a good time to buy? I think the answer is yes. Is it going to be better? Nobody can say for sure.
And it changes so sporadically as well. Just watching it day by day, it's so funny to look back in June, July, which wasn't that long ago, to see the massive changes even just through the clearance rates alone.
Yes,
it really does. It's like you have to keep your finger on the pulse, and it's so hard to determine what's then going to happen in another 3 months even. It's
amazing that markets can move so quickly, and react to small little things that change in the environment, that give the market confidence again when it didn't have any. So I think we're finally poised now. Is it a good time to buy? Yes, it is a good time to buy. Is it a good time to sell? Yes, look, now's a decent time to sell, but if I was holding a property, I probably wouldn't be selling now. I'd probably be waiting to see what happens.
Great. Well, if you do have either or, looking or selling, you can contact us and we can help you out at Specific Property. We're on all the usual socials, which is Facebook, LinkedIn and Instagram, and get in touch with us today if you have any questions. Thanks again.
Thank you.